sweet and considerate heart. Come into my world, give me a spark. Down the land and visit the planet. Give me one try. Still wanna make you sure I'm the reason they're going back here. Just don't linger too much, 'cause you're a stranger, baby. So come get to know me. Don't be a stranger now.
welcome to this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Tonight we kick off round 2 of our Rocket League Summer Invitational with our group stage games. All these teams get a fresh start. With the Scorpions claiming our title last week, can they come back swinging or will someone else knock them off? I'm your host, Artie Nerdy Bird Rain, and joining me on desk to call all of the action is Jacob Jem Palmer. All right, so Scorpions have kind of been our cool and level-headed team after they knocked down the Vipers, who also had that strategy. If they were to be taken out of the running this week, what do you think these other teams need to do to counteract their playstyle?
Well, I think the other teams really need to kind of keep a level head and be able to play well as a team. That's what I'm looking out for the Lynxes are for, because this is a team that just has a general great team aura to them, a great history, a great story behind them. The Lynxes are definitely one of the best themed teams out there, but all the teams here are tough competition, because I think it's worth reminding that for this particular tournament it was invite only, which means each team is custom made to give us the most exciting close matches we have.
Most definitely, and of course, you know, Thrift and Wilds are going to be together on that Lynx squad. We can never break them up, even when we have quote-unquote mixed up the rosters. That is something that
we won't let that go.
No, we will not let that go until we see them broken up. And yes, I do mean end the relationship, let them take a break from one another. It's for their own good. It may not be, but I want to see that happen at least once. Anyway, if you are new here or returning and it's been a while since you've seen any of the Rocket League Rumbles here for Esports Tower, this is how it works. It's 3v3 soccer, best of 5s, round robin, single elimination. So it's no holds barred for all the marbles, every single one of these games. And then it's golden goal in sudden death. So if we are tied at any moment up until the very end of that 5-minute timer, then we go into a situation where whomever gets the ball in that net first will walk away with the victory.
Yes, and there's no time limit to that sudden death, which means sometimes we can get overtimes that last longer than the standard match itself. So good times all around. Again, here's just kind of a recap of the teams that we have. The Barracudas, the Vipers, the Scorpions, and the Lynxes competing. And of course, with teams like this, they're going to have fans, and we want to remind all the fans to support their teams, celebrate their successes, but of course be respectful to other fans. Mods will remove anyone who violates the chat rules. And besides the reminders I have to give, you have some very important reminders, gameplay related, to give to the players.
I mean, yes, they're coming from me saying them, but truly they come from the one and only Doc Haskell in the form of Doc's keys to the game in Rocket League, presented today by Esports Tower. Those keys to the game are create mistakes, punish the overcommits, play the walls better, and demo to disrupt. Score pro advice at esportstower.com, where you can improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up.
And those who just might be joining us, Doc Haskell is in fact head coach of the Boise State Esports program. Just in case anyone's joining us new and they're like, who is Doc? Did they just take some random person off the street, put headphones on him, and there you go? No. He is very much involved, very familiar with the world of Rocket League, and we're ready to kick things off here.
Yes, we're going to be jumping into our first game here with the Lynx taking on the Vipers. So we've got Thrift, Adrift, Lemmings, and Wilds for that Lynx roster, and then for the Vipers, we've got Toke, Enzo, and Zydra.
Yes, this is a lot of great players here, a lot of stories to tell. A lot of these players have been on many different teams for Esports Tower, of course, but then, except for the players that are always together on the same team that we already mentioned. But here we go. We're going to be ready to jump into this match, a Lynx versus Vipers. Coaches are curious if the Lynx might have some learning pains as a team, because they were coming off a 3-0 win for the Vipers in the third game last week. So this team is hungry. Like I said, watch out for them. They want to claim the top spot.
We have, of course, the dynamic duo of Thrift and Wilds, but then Adrift will be sliding into that roster for them, and all three tend to have pretty strong rotational skills. Sometimes they get a little overzealous. However, despite that, they're going to score the first goal here within less than 20 seconds. Vipers are typically our slower, calm, and calculated team, whereas the Lynx try to strike fast like a true Viper genuinely would. So we'll have to see if the Vipers can counter that playstyle here in the next 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, goals this early in the game can either mean one or two things. It means one team has started an avalanche that won't stop, or the other is that it's just kind of a one-off and then things settle at the match. So we'll see how the Vipers can recover, and with a shot like that, Enzo very nicely placed. It's just going to be barely saved. Now Adrift on the counterattack is just going to leave it for Wild, who is able to get the shot over toward the crossbar, and Enzo with the deflect is going to keep things at bay just for now, but with another shot, Adrift is looking to get it in, and what great teamwork with the demo.
That was definitely the chef's kiss there. Going for the disrupt off the rebound play and taking out the goalkeeper. There's not much anyone else can do because there's only a third person left, and they're probably rotated to the midfield for that mid-control. Now Lynx are sitting in a nice position with that 2-goal lead, but there's still almost 4 full minutes left, which means there's plenty of time for the Vipers to close that gap for themselves. We'll have to see if they can. Ball is in the back there to the Lynx side of the field. Thrift pushing it to the mid. Zydra stops it, but ends up dunking it down to Adrift.
Enzo is waiting to try to steal it away. Wilds is going to beat him to the punch, but the ball still goes back into Vipers territory. Enzo's trying to keep the play alive. Tokay is going to be the one to try to get a tap on that, and there goes Adrift way down the field. He's going to try to set it up. It goes back toward midfield. Shot from Thrift and Wilds at the same time isn't going to find the net. Lynx stay in the lead 2-0.
Wilds plays it around 1, pops it up here in the corner, has pressure getting put on them by Zydra, so Thrift is going to come in. All 3 members of the Lynx are here on the back third of Vipers territory. That is what I've talked about when it comes to that strong and very fast play style, but it does create these overcommit situations that can be punished. However, it's not going to be punished immediately by the Vipers. Zydra finally finds a clear, but there's no midfield control for them, so it's easy for Adrift to pop it back up off their own back wall.
After just a slight tap over toward mid, Enzo's going to leave it right down in front of the goal, just toward the right. In goes Tokay, played over by Thrift, and now with the demo, he's going to be stopped right there, so Thrift is going to have to respawn while Z-Hydra takes control of it. Stolen away by Adrift. Enzo has to elevate up, just push it off to the side, but the side control overall in favor of the Lynx as they look to center it, but Wilds drives under, gets bumped. And now the Lynx fumbling a little bit there. They do get a shot on goal. It is saved, and a double commit on that save. Thank goodness that was a save, or else they would have been punished severely for that.
Zydra gets demoed trying to push past that midfield stripe. Tokay takes a shot. It's going to be saved by, I believe that was Thrift, who gets it across the midfield into the back third of Viper territory. Wilds trying to regain possession of it. Leaves it for Thrift, who pops it to Adrift. Ball is at the midfield. Enzo's trying to put pressure on, as is Tokay. Finally, ball is in Lynx territory. Will the Vipers be able to find a goal as we are ticking down past that last 2-minute mark here in game number 1?
Enzo plays off the wall to elevate up, just running into Wilds there. Ball trickles back toward Vipers territory. Just a little bit of a flick there, leaving it for Wilds. Thrift to try to dunk it down. Instead pushes it off to the corner. Tokay now looking for his play. Has to play around Adrift coming here though, and he just takes the ball away from him. He's going to leave it for Thrift, who gets a little bit of a nice shot toward midfield, but it isn't going to turn into a full clear quite yet. Wilds is going to help that happen with Thrift, but Enzio beating him to that 50-50 is going to keep the ball contested in midfield.
Adrift is going to take out one of the Vipers players, making that offense difficult. Ball's already back in Viper territory at the midfield. Enzo tries to redirect into the corner on the Lynx half. They do manage to do so. Tokay goes in for the pinch play, but can't get it. They do end up getting demoed by Wilds. Ball at the midfield gets popped up, still back here in Lynx territory, but no goals found yet for the Vipers.
Might have trickled in there, but not quite, so Lynx going to be happy with that one to keep it at 2-0. Now Z-Hydra has to make a play happen. And there goes Thrift, though, hitting it way back toward the field. Wilds is going to be there to starve the boost away from the Vipers. I like that play there. That's going to keep them fumbling a little bit as they try to get the clear, but there goes Wild, stopping it in midfield. Again, I have a feeling Thrift is back here in midfield. Great play by Zydra, but I don't know if it's too little too late, especially since Zydra gets demoed there. It's going to be sent all the way back to start, giving the Lynx time to clear. Just 10 seconds left. I think the Lynx have gotten this all set.
At this point, Vipers may be looking for a morality boost goal. Lynx, though, looking a little greedy, might be able to find another one for themselves. As the buzzer ticks down to 0, they will find the 3rd goal and close out game number 1 in the lead in a 3-0 victory.
It was a really kind of stark matchup there. I mean, the thing that I saw most, it always seemed like the Lynx were the team that most often had someone in the passing lane as they were moving up the field, or had someone to demo and disrupt the other people. It always felt when the Vipers were trying to push forward, it was one person against three.
Most definitely. I can't argue with you on that. And we've had it as an older Doc's key to the game, which is the Olay, the demo thing. And I mean, if you see a drift is coming up on your tails, at this point, really, you gotta just jump out of the way, because every time that ball hit the midfield stripe, if there was more than 2 Vipers players there, one of them or both of them were getting demoed.
Yeah, it's just going to have to see how they can coordinate themselves. The Lynx really didn't leave any breathing room for the Vipers, but we'll see if the Vipers can recover as we head into Game 2. But remember, Lynx also had a 3-0 win against the Vipers last time. So last time they faced off against this team, they were undefeated. So if they can do that back-to-back in Week 1 and Week 2, they should have a great day today.
Zydra wins the ball kickoff, but the follow-up is actually going to come from a drift who buries the ball into the back third. It's going to hit the crossbar. Follow-up from Wilds will be whipped. The tertiary touch from Thrift is going to hit the crossbar again. Ball has not left Viper territory just yet. They need to find a clear and look for a breakaway. When all 3 members of the Lynx are this close to their goal, they can probably take pressure off one of the offensive players, stop playing defense, and look for midfield control. Find a breakaway. We have it here from Enzo. But that ball is too flat to the goal. Toke needs to get in, but before they do, it gets cleared.
Wilds is going to demo in the corner, but the follow-up wasn't quite there. The ball's going to stay contested. Enzo looking for a dunk here, right down into the goal. It's right there, and Toke follows up to get the Vipers their first lead.
Took him 45 seconds to find that first goal. Not the fastest we've seen. The first one was in 17 or 18 seconds in the first game. However, this is in favor of the Vipers. That's what they need, but they need to stop a drift from coming in, trying to carry the ball in that net. Enzo will steal it away. They have Toke to pass to. Instead, they're going to try to go for the flick. They get it, and that's goal number 2. Oh, nope, never mind. That was Wilds, and the Lynx find goal number 1.
Zydra is going to push it over to the side. Wilds with quite an elevate there, spending a lot of his boost there to just get the tap to leave it for Thrift. He's going to try to flick it in, doesn't quite work. Wild stops in midfield, but Zydra, see, that's what I'm talking about, having the follow-up now. It seems the Vipers are now working together as a team, and it's really paying off for them in terms of the scoreboard. Thrift is going to get a slight tap on that in midfield to send it back toward the goal. Wild just sneaks it in. That was wow, that was precision.
That was redemption for Wild's own goal earlier. Now we are in 1-goal territory. 3 minutes and 34 seconds still left on the clock. Plenty of Rocket League left here in game number 2, but Wilds is trying to close that gap almost instantly.
He wanted his...
He
wants total redemption.
Okay, all right, Wilds, you found it. We are now at the ever so fabulous, it's complicated, tied 0-0.
Initial kickoff is going to go in favor of Wilds again. Wild, just the own goal that he scored yesterday is having him playing insane to just keep his name from being tarnished. And I got to say, it is paying dividends. Right now, Enzio is going to try to get the clear, but Wilds elevate up. Just stopping in midfield is played right over him by Toke, but Thrift is waiting in the corner. Pass over to the center. Z-Hydra to take it away from them. Back to the corner. Z-Hydra doesn't have boost, so has to leave it for another player. And great play by Thrift there to clear it way back toward the field. And a Thrift with the follow-up. Lynx back in the lead.
That was beautiful. I mean, yes, we had a great save, but once you push that defender out of the way, forcing them to go into that position, the follow-up is easy to get because the goal is then wide open. That is some classic Rocket League style gameplay and strategic usage right there. Let's see if the Vipers can find a goal for themselves. We're almost crossing into the second half here of game number 2.
Wilds again secures a hat trick. If that isn't the ultimate redemption, I don't know what is.
Wilds, calm down. Calm down, my friend. You don't need to gas yourself this early on. They have the 2-goal lead, though. That's all they need. Is Wild still going to go hog wild? They might. Ball is in the back third of Viper territory. Toke has time to take a couple touches here, but they lose it, unfortunately. Flipping forward with ball possession, and it pushes too far forward. Lemmings shot on goal will hit the crossbar. Thrift tries to go for the reset play, but it ends up hitting the ceiling. Wilds tries to do it, too. Nothing is coming of those opportunities just yet. Enzo, though, bringing the ball into the back third of Lynx territory.
Set it up. It's going to head way back on the field, though, giving the Lynx a little bit of breathing room. Zydra, I am shocked that went in there. That has to have been some sort of huge interference there from the Vipers.
It was gorgeous, and so I'm going to say that was 100% planned and calculated. Now Toke goes in to try and get in that passing lane. They managed to, but they push it right back towards Adrift, so there was no follow-up from Vipers because they are playing very hesitant unless they feel as though they have a full goal-scoring opportunity. Double commit, no save made. Lynx find another goal for themselves with the help of Adrift.
Lynx just get to dust themselves off, get themselves back into that 2-goal lead that they're also comfortable with. Wilds almost looked like he was going to be able to get another shot there. And misplay there, double commit, almost punished, but Zydra, with the easiest shot ever, still finds a way to miss it.
It's okay, Zydra, it happens. Zydra still has possession here, but they have 2 of the Lynx on them. They need help from their teammates, but again, that hesitancy coming out from the Vipers is being their Achilles heel right now. All 3 stacked up in the goal. Triple commit on that save. Nothing is punished immediately by the Lynx, but we have 1 minute and 10 seconds left for the Vipers to find 2 goals to equalize this out.
Wilds again looking for those sneaky angles. Adrift is going to get a little bit of a shove, but Enzo was right there to block it in the field. A demo is going to go out onto the Vipers. So now Lynx looking good and looking all set here to set it up again for possibly another one. Enzo is going to stop that with a beautiful pass over to Z Hydra. That isn't going to turn into a goal. So Toke is going to get beaten to the ball by Adrift. And now Lynx have set themselves up again, but Thrift is content to push it off into the corner here. We'll see how they can defend for this next 30 seconds as Vipers try to equalize it up, and it's not going to happen there.
We had another demo at the midfield, making this opportunity for the Vipers just that much harder. However, all the Lynx are stacked up near their goal. They're trying to slow down a little bit. Don't want any accidental goals happening again as we tick down in the last 20 seconds here, game number 2. They're in the lead by 2 goals. That's 1 roughly every 7 seconds now at this point. Hard task to ask of any Rocket League player. Let's see if the Vipers can just find 1 more, even though the Lynx are most likely going to walk away with the game 2 victory and put themselves at match point.
Just one final goal it looked like they were going for there, but it looks like this round is over, most likely at a 3-5. Lynx to get their second victory and drive it to a match point. As the ball hits the ground there, in fact, that will be the case. So good job for the Lynx there, looking to cruise on. I gotta say, that's probably the biggest redemption arc I've seen in a single game for one player. It's just Wilds, you were right, changed his name to Hog Wilds, just how good he was playing there in the middle of the game.
I mean, you do an oopsie like that, you typically want to find 1 goal for the morality boost right afterwards. Be like, hey guys, I'm sorry, I take it back, and you fix it by equalizing it. However, getting us so many thereafter was ridiculous, and if you looked at the accolades on screen, you could see that the Lynx had a ton of shots on goal compared to the Vipers. However, the Vipers, the few that they took actually made it into the net. So when it comes to the accuracy perspective here, Vipers are doing stronger on that front, and Toke was doing a fantastic job on the defense. They just need to stop playing so hesitant, and I think they can counter the Lynx.
Well, we'll see if they can pick the pieces up here. A reverse sweep is what they have to overcome. That is the path ahead of them. We'll see if they can rise to the challenge as we head into game 3. Match point here for the Lynx. They can win this and take it all home.
Kickoff goes in favor of no one, but it's going to be Wilds to capitalize on that ball being pitched into the air. They try to leave it for Thrift. Enzo plays some disruption, but allows Adrift to come in, take the shot, and the follow-up. Wilds has no one to beat. Shot goes right in with no defenders in place. That's 12 seconds, the fastest goal we've seen thus far.
That can sometimes happen off the kickoff as everyone's kind of off chasing boost, and you don't get them in their normal rotations. But Thrift, seeing what needs to be done there, is going to be able to push it off to the corner, keep the Lynx in their narrow lead for now, but look out here. Opportunity to kind of thread the needle there wasn't found by the Vipers. Now Lynx on the counterattack. Look at Adrift already trying to take Toke out of the fight. A shot is just going to be followed up by Adrift again to put them to a 2-0 lead.
45 seconds in, and Lynx have scored 2 goals. Vipers need to start slowing them down somehow. I mean, start returning these demolition favors that they are handing out to the Vipers left and right. I mean, if one of your players is out of play, take someone else out with you. But unfortunately, attempted save there will not be fruitful, and Thrift will find another goal for the Lynx.
Moving on gingerly, Enzo to elevate up and gets his play blocked. So now, how can they recover from that? They're going to try again, and Toke with the follow-up. Wilds, steadfast and strong, blocking it, but so many follow-ups eventually are too much for the Lynx to defend against.
Enzo finding goal number 1 for the Vipers. They're showing signs of life. They just need to get 2 more and stop the Lynx from finding any more goals for themselves. I know that that's not an easy task, though, and make it sound easy. We have Thrift steal the ball away from Zydra at the mid. They do have pressure mounting on them from Toke, but they play it around Toke nonetheless. Thrift goes for the center up play to Wilds. Wilds has to play it past Enzo, so Drift has to come in. All 3 members of the Lynx, again, stacked up in the back third of Viper territory.
Just a slight tap there. Isn't going to turn into any play. In fact, it allows the Vipers to clear way back over in the corner. Enzo moves into center. Just a little bit of a tap, and now Thrift over to Wilds in the center. Not going to find necessarily any sort of clear there, so Vipers maintain side control.
Wilds has the ball stolen by Toke. Toke, though, unfortunately goes into the corner. Ball is on the backboard of the Lynx half of the field. Toke tries to recenter. It can't, though, because the Drift gets it away from them. Enzo goes for the stop, manages to get it, pops it up, but Wilds pops it up again thereafter. Pinch play, ball barely is saved by Enzo.
That's insane there. Needs to be all the way past the goal line for it to count, and sorry for Lynx, it's just not going to be the case there. Vipers again on the counterattack, stopped by Thrift, but Zydra reads the play, leaves it for Enzo. It just goes off the front post. Wilds is going to kick it back toward Thrift, or is Toke going to open something up for the Vipers here? None of Wilds has anything to say about it in the midfield. Zydra with the play. The goal is wide open here. Can they follow up? So much time given. Gives the Lynx just enough time to save.
Unfortunately, the rotations were just not fast enough, and Toke was looking for the opportunity, but they've been forcing that defender position quite a bit. Now they're hesitant to get out of that goal. They need to start putting confidence in each other and working on those rotations. They've got 2 minutes to clean this up, or Lynx walk away with a 3-0 sweep again against the Vipers, and they don't want that happening twice.
Riff is struggling a little bit to find the clear there, and a whole bunch bunched out around the ball there is going to leave it wide open. Gonna have to see if they can. Oh man, that was so close there. I don't know who saved that, but with the follow-up from a Drift, it doesn't matter. Lynx now have a 3-goal lead.
I mean, 2 goals in 1:37 isn't impossible. Toke gets a fantastic win off the kickoff. They have to go for the challenge against Thrift, so that means Enzo needs to get in there faster, but they lose control in mid-flight, making it a little bit rough to meet at that goal area. Toke stops the ball from crossing the midfield stripe. It goes off the backboard. Zydra tries to be there for the follow-up. It can't be. A Drift plays it around 2 members. Enzo comes in again from the mid. Now ball in the Lynx territory. Tries to get a shot in. Stolen away by Thrift.
Toke with a slight hit there, but a Drift just barely. And again, the Vipers just find themselves all crowding around the ball and just getting bumped around this way and that. Enzo is going to try to clear, and I mean, there's some great talent. Coaches say that Enzo is an incredible talent. But the question is, can he and the other teammates rally around after such a tough start and with so little time remaining? They're going to have to make it happen right now.
Enzo at the midfield stops Thrift for a few moments. Toke is able to come in, has to get a pound around a Drift. They take them out instead. Ball is right above the goal. Wilds pushes it off to the side. A perfect defensive play. Ball now in Viper territory again, so Enzo's going to pop it up, but it's going to go to Thrift on the ceiling. Toke tries to maintain possession here for the Vipers, so we have 20 seconds left for the Vipers to find 3 goals. That's going to be a little bit difficult, and I think this might just be a GG go next.
Yep, it's just going to be a question of how well the Vipers can recover and do in round 2, because Lynx have just all but assuredly gotten the victory for themselves here. Just 3 more seconds till the ball touches the ground. Maybe 1 goal to try to make the Vipers feel a little better. And they're going to try to go for it as Zydra pushes it back to center. And is it just, or are the Lynx going to showboat here and try to get another goal? Okay. Okay, it's not going to happen there.
That was completely unnecessary, Wild. You didn't need to go for that, and I know you know You didn't need to, but you wanted to. Anyway, congratulations, Lynx. You guys will walk away with 3-0 victory against the Vipers. Best of luck in your coming games, and best of luck to the Vipers as well. Keep in mind, both these teams are extremely talented. That's why they were invited into this Esports Tower Rumble event. So they still have plenty to show us going forward.
All right, but going at it alone can only get you so far. Ultimately, if you want to increase your chances of success, you have to level up your teaming skills. Certainly saw that in kind of the first half of this best of 5. Lynx just kind of working together a little bit in the first few rounds to help them get more goals overall. Esports Tower really takes the time to create teams of well-matched teammates. Shout out to Coach Jake, and for those of you who haven't checked out Esports Tower clubs, you should. It's the fast track to rank up.
So the Lynx walk away with a 3-0 victory over the Vipers to kick off our round 2. Up next, we're going to see the Lynx face off against the Barracudas. Looking to stay undefeated. We'll have to see if they can. But before we get the opportunity to watch that game, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by. Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your Guard adventure.
Welcome back to this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We just saw the Lynx take on a very strong victory over the Vipers in a 3-0 sweep. Can they carry the momentum into the match against the Barracudas? Well, we'll have to wait and see. I'm still your host, Artie Nerdy Bird Rain, and joining me on desk to call all the action is Jacob Jem Palmer. All right, so the Barracudas are kind of one of our oldest standing teams with I'm not trying to call you old, by the way, when I say this, with one of our oldest members of the Esports Tower Rumble, Quez, is going to be in there. How do you think this game's going to go?
Ooh, that's really a tough one because, like we were saying earlier, Lynx have the team dynamic, but Barracudas is literally one of the oldest kind of franchises, if you will, in Esports Tower history. And Quez has been around for so long, is really the top player in terms of overall experience in this program. And overall, that experience can lead to great wins, can also lead to great rewards.
Yes, and those rewards in particular are scholarships. And we want to take a quick moment actually to congratulate all of the Esports Tower Club members who graduated from the clubs and have been offered scholarships across the country. Over the last 3 months, Esports Tower Club members have received $1.6 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but have worked hard academically to earn these scholarship opportunities. These players that have received these scholarships are talented, hardworking, and driven, and we could not be more excited and proud to see all the opportunities these players are getting. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Please give us a shout out if you're ever playing against the Broncos, because we definitely want to recognize your efforts and your talents going forward. And best of luck to each and every one of you in your future.
Yeah, it used to be 1.6 overall, but now it's over $1.6 million in just Rocket League scholarships. It's $3.1 million now overall. I mean, the scholarships just keep flowing and the numbers keep growing. I did not mean that to rhyme, but I will take every bit of credit there for the serendipity of it.
You know what? I won't give you anything for doing a little bit of a dad joke. But with that, these players, in some regard, might follow some important keys of advice when it comes to the game of Rocket League or any of our other games, and those keys come in the form of Doc's Keys to the Game, presented today by Esports Tower, where you can score pro advice at esportstower.com. Doc's Keys to the Game in Rocket League are create the mistakes, punish the overcommits, play the walls better, and demo to disrupt. I'm going to add an artist key here, which is olay the gosh darn demos. Improve your game sense, improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up.
As we're ready to head into a game two, the Lynx looked so strong in our first match of the night, but you can see Quez, Crayon, and of course Greed, who kind of is a fan favorite overall in the Esports Tower community, has a lot of players when he does play in person cheering him on, so probably going to get a lot of cheering virtually through Twitch today, so can't wait to see how the Barracudas do.
Yes, Greed is quite the character. Quez is also very kind. Did get the opportunity to meet these players in person, and each and every one of them are just sweethearts, and they're all amazing people, so hopefully you guys know that from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate the chance I got to see you guys in person.
All right, let's head into match number 2 for tonight, Lynx versus Barracudas. In round 1 group stage, we'll see how the Lynx got the win in round 1. We'll see how in round 2 group stage, the Lynx fare against the Barracudas.
We have Greed cutting in to force the ball back into Lynx territory. Thrift tries to get it out, but can't, so Quez is actually going to pop it up to Greed. Greed tries to play it around Wilds, can't get it past them, but Wilds attempted to clear is stopped by Quez, so Cran comes in to stop the ball yet again. Ball spent a lot of time in Lynx territory, something they're not used to. Thrift and Wilds both elevate for an opportunity to keep this ball into the Barracuda territory, but it was whiffed by both. Cran, no pressure, gets across that midfield stripe.
Wilds leave it just above the goal there. It's going to bounce off the backboard. Leave it for Adrift. Quez going to elevate up to try to stop it, but doesn't quite find it. So the Lynx maintain their side control. Barracudas are just going to take a little bit of time to refuel on boost and then make their play. Greed with a long hit way over to the corner, but it is not centered up in any way. And in fact, Thrift with the demo onto the open goal. What an aggressive play.
I mean, Greed was in the defensive rotation there, and poor human being got demoed, so what can you do at that point? Lynx found the first goal, but it took them quite some time, definitely showing that the matchup between the Lynx and the Barracudas is quite strong and equal. Let's see if the Barracudas can find a goal for themselves here in the next 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Adrift is going to follow the ball up the field. Quez with just a slight deflect, but Adrift leaves it. Oh, Thrift kind of, I don't know if he misread that or was trying to interfere, but either way, doesn't even take a shot on the goal that time. Leaves in for Wilds, and Quez again with the deflect, follow up by Thrift. It's just a little bit off, and Crayon there is going to clear it off to the corner.
We have the rotations coming out from the Lynx. They're going back into defensive positions. Quez shot on goal, taken away by Thrift. Quez tries to get Thrift tries to get it clear there, can't find it though. Ball still in Lynx territory. Greed sends it into their own back corner where Thrift unfortunately is waiting. but it ends up with Quez nonetheless, who pops it up to Greed. Greed is pushed out of the way, though. Ball is buried here in the corner, trying to be dug out by the Barracudas. Popped up at the mid, pushed forward by Quez, but it ends up with a drift now in Lynx territory. Wild's looking for an opportunity to find a clear.
Greed pushes it to the wall. Drift doesn't seem to be too phased by it. Again, they're still looking for the clears. Overall, the possession has been in favor of the Lynx, as they've been pretty reliably able to clear it out like we see now and then keep it in the blue side of the field for the majority of the time tonight. Drift is going to keep that side control going, but no real follow-up for that play. Leaves it open for a clear from the Barracudas. Greed with the shot off the corner, not going to find it.
We have crossed into the second half here of game number 1. Only 1 goal scored by the Lynx thus far. Thrift tries to make it 2. Greed's going to elevate and stop it off that top crossbar. Now it's going to be Greed elevating to challenge Thrift. Wild's looking for an opportunity, instead leaves it for a drift. Wild has no one to beat. That shot on goal. Goal number 2 for the Lynx. Minute 58 seconds for the Barracudas to rally back and find 2 goals for themselves.
That really seems to be the breakaway point for the Lynx, is once they get 2 goals, they're pretty comfortable in holding it, so we'll see if the Barracudas can change that up. Still, things looking pretty good here. As Wilds goes in for the play, leaving it up for a teammate off the front post, and the ball's just a bit high, but Thrift is there to clean things up.
Wow.
And 3-0.
Roughly 33 seconds per goal here for the Barracudas. Not impossible, it's very difficult. They seem to have some issues right now that are happening. I can't pinpoint them, but the gears are starting to turn. They need to become a well-oiled machine. They've got 90 seconds to do it. Let's see if they can. Ball is in Lynx territory. Quez goes for the challenge against Wilds. Cran has to get this ball before a drift does. Never mind, a drift and their teammates are all going to leave it, allowing Thrift to push forward. Ball at the mid, dunked over Cran by a drift. Ball is in Barracuda territory, but Barracudas don't have pressure. However, they just do a kind of lackadaisical clear without a purpose, so no one's there for the ball. Ball is immediately back in their territory.
The timer's their worst enemy, as just in the time you gave your commentary nerdy, they're down to just 20 seconds per goal instead of 33 seconds. They got to make something happen here, and as long as the side control continues for the Lynx, I don't see any way out for them, at least for this first game. So you might just have to prep for the next one or try to get a reassurance goal here to keep their spirits up. Just have to see, but Thrift keeping any sort of play just dead in its tracks.
Definitely it's probably impossible to equalize this one out territory. I mean, 10 seconds per goal, that's pretty much impossible at this point, especially with the ball spending so much time in Barracuda territory. Thrift trying to just push Cran out of the way to find goal number 4 for the Lynx. It is going to be thwarted as we see a demolition come out onto one of the Barracudas.
Now just 15 seconds, basically a formality at this point to close out the game. Lynx still, for this night, have been undefeated so far. So with 4-0 overall, if you count all the games they played tonight, they look to show no signs of stopping for their dominant performance.
Not dropping a single 5-minute game thus far is very strong, but how long can you keep that up? So far, 4 games in a row. Do you think they can do it a 5th time?
Well, it might be able to. I mean, if we're talking about 5th games, a different kind of 5th game was the Lynx. The last time they faced off the Barracudas, it went 5 games here. So despite the fact that last time they went against Vipers and that went 3-0, if history repeats itself, we might see 5 games here.
Let's hope that the side of the Lynx don't get gassed out before we hit that 5th game, or we can see a reverse sweep if we do end up going to the 5th game. Or we might just see back and forth all the way to a 6. I mean, personally, that's what I like to see. I'm a little bit biased. I'm also a caster. I'm not the one playing, so that puts all of the weight really on these 6 players, and I do apologize for that.
We're ready to move forward here into the next game. A bit of fighting in midfield off the initial kickoff, and the drift is going to leave it just a little bit to the right there, giving enough time for Greed to get a tap on here, but overall, it's just been kind of scrappy play for the first few seconds. Neither team edging out, although the Lynx once again continuing the pattern of what we see of just keeping the ball in more favorable territory. And the double commit there on the saves shows that the Barracudas, might still be just a bit frazzled here.
Well, they need to shake out those cobwebs sooner rather than later, because they have an opportunity in Greed. Somehow, I'm going to be honest, man, I don't know how that one sailed in, but it did. And the Barracudas find their first goal here in both matches.
Great play by Greed there. And now it's going to break away from the kickoff again. And Quez gets the goal. Quez has continued to impress everybody at the Summer Invitational. Even with all his past accomplishments in Esports Tower, players and coaches are still blown away by his skills on the pitch. Must have had someone from the UK typing out the teleprompter there using the more
Dave.
European term pitch.
Dave.
I love that Nerdy just immediately knows.
Shot on goal
Sorry.
from Thrift does unfortunately sail right past that goal. Another recentering opportunity, but it's going to be stolen away by Cran. And yes, of course, I'm going to call Dave out. If it sounds European, the man is living in Wales currently, but he is also from here.
I will be content to use the much less impressive sounding soccer field.
I'm going to go with that as well.
All right, as we move forward here, Wilds. It was kind of relying on a drift there, but didn't get the hit that he wanted. Grayon is going to play it around the corner. That's a good setup here for a possible play. Quez to elevate up. That's the way you do it. To dunk down. Just doesn't find it, but the Barracudas are now alive as a team.
Quez sacrificed himself to keep this opportunity alive for the Barracudas. They were demoed, but the ball has not left Lynx territory. Quez has respawned. They're just gathering up some boost. And Greed with the fantastic rotation pushes the ball across midfield stripe. It's going to hit the back wall. Wilds, though, is waiting like a fly on the wall, sending the ball to Thrift. He's trying to do a remake of what Quez did, but do it to the Barracudas instead. It will be thwarted, though, by Greed. However, an awkward pitch could result in a goal. And Wilds, I don't know how the geometry worked out there, my friend, but you managed to find the first goal for the Lynx.
That was the most strategic shift into reverse ever there. And I didn't know that a car could immediately reverse in midair. I didn't think that was how the physics of it worked. But in Rocket League, anything's possible.
There's an invisible road at all times. Cran now at the midfield. It's going to look for an opportunity to pass back to Greed because pressure was being put on them. They will, but unfortunately, it's immediately thwarted by Wilds. Thrift will elevate, but can't get high enough. Quez tries to dunk it down to Cran. It does go to a drift first, so Quez is forced to come forward and help Cran out. Quez now has the opportunity to pass to Greed. They're going to look for the dunk down, but it's thwarted. A double commit on the defense from the Lynx is not immediately punished by the Barracudas.
Even a double commit there for the Lynx to clear that ball. If they can recover soon enough, it shouldn't be too much problem unless Crayon teaches them a lesson right there about that. Now Greed just whiffs on that shot, but now Quez maybe to pick it up. Greed is able to recover and center it, but Wilds to clear away. It's going to give a little bit of time for the Lynx. They want to find their equalizer here. Devo might open up the goal. Just the follow-up there, and Thrift was just too high.
Adrift tries to go for the challenge against Cran, but Cran wins out, sending it to Greed. Greed is in the corner. They're going to have to look for either a dunk or a pass to someone. They dunk it down, almost stolen away. Quez managed to get a few touches on it, but Adrift eventually does come out on top of that one. Ball crossing midfield stripe is going to be thwarted from the return by Thrift. Quez, though, off the demo is going to grab it, bring it into the air. Going to cross into the goal-scoring opportunity position and finds it!
Ooh.
I think there was an awkward pinch. Thankfully, we're not running replays on goals because you might see a Lynx there get a little bit too involved. We've got 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Lynx looking for 2 goals to equalize this out.
Now make it 3 goals, and I think that just might be too tough a task to answer here. And it seems like the omens from past week are coming into play this week. Teams just kind of repeating history. Lynx winning their first one 3-0, and this one looking like it's at least going to go to a game 4, but probably the way things are going to go all 5 games here is a great recovery from the Barracudas. Lynx facing a score deficit that I don't really think that they can beat in this length of time.
I have to agree with you, but perhaps they can find 1 or 2 goals here in the next 40 seconds just to prove to themselves that they are able to go toe-to-toe with the Barracudas. I mean, game 1 definitely showed that they are able to, but the Barracudas came back swinging here in game number 2. Excited to see how the next one goes, but 30 seconds. Let's see if the Lynx can find 1 more flashing opportunity for themselves, and they do! Coming out from Wilds.
Well, okay, 23 seconds, it's not unheard of. They need to get a kickoff goal right now. Maybe on the cheat here, but no, Greed is waiting. And overall, this play has taken up too much time unless a goal can be scored right now. Quez to deflect it off to the corner. And I think with that there, That is going to end the game right now, ending 4-2 overall. Barracudas tying up the series and showing life yet in this best of 5. Just as soon as the ball hits the ground, the game will end, and we move on to game 4.
When Thrift carried that ball right in front of their own goal, it literally sailed in front of the net. I was having a quiet heart attack over here because that would have been the opportunity for someone to just make a beeline towards it and send it into the net for the Barracudas. I mean, more power to you if you manage to find that goal when there's no time left on the clock. But it's a little unnecessary.
It's a little unnerving, but thank goodness for your cardiac health. We can move on to the next game here and not have to worry. We might have a buzzer beater, though, future on in the series, and those are always exciting.
I love buzzer beaters. Those don't give me heart attacks. It's the risky plays that give me heart attacks. But with that being said, we'll have to see how this next game goes. We are now at the ever so beloved best of 3 between these two teams, because it always seems like most of the time we end up at a best of 3, even when it's a best of 5 series to start.
And frankly, when it's a best of 7 too, it always ends up as a best of 3 because that's just how things work around here.
I mean, when you have to play a full length of a series that long and you anticipate it going that long, you don't want to go no holds barred from beginning to end, because by the end you're just so tired that you could end up making a lot of mistakes that if you would just made sure you metered your aggression and, you know, pace yourself a little bit, you would have been able to come out on top. So I think that might be what these teams are doing, especially the Lynx, considering they already did 3 games prior to this and have 2 more stacked on top of that now. So they played 5 games back-to-back. That's a lot of Rocket League.
Slide tap from Crayon, taking his sweet time. Actually has no boost if you look at it right now. And then, granted, was just setting up for another player, but the follow-up wasn't there. Now we see it gets cleared. We pretty quickly answered back by the Barracudas, though, and then back forth again. Just the ping-pong back and forth. Everyone's favorite, the fierce fighting in the middle of the field.
Mid-control is important, but you need to be doing things with a purpose. And it looks like Greed tries to finally get the breakaway. It's going to be stopped by Thrift for a few moments. Greed regains possession. Cran is going to try and corral it away from 2 members of the Lynx, but Thrift has no pressure, dunks it down. Quez sends it to the side, pushing it across to the midfield stripe, trying to get it in front of Wilds, but just can't beat them to the punch.
Thrift just off the backboard. Still going to get credited with the shot on goal here, and his 2 to his name so far, but they'd really like to get in a lead here. It seems so far tonight, the team that's built out the lead is the one that generally stays in the lead. I think the Lynx had 1 exception in their first match, and they managed to rally back into lead. But if you can open up just a bit of momentum for yourself, even if it's kind of a weird goal like that, that's not insignificant for the Barracudas.
That was definitely a hard overcommit from the Lynx. I mean, we've talked about it on Desk before, and I've talked to them about it, which is why are you guys so bent on getting all 3 players into the goal-scoring opportunity position and having everyone push so far forward? And they're like, well, if you have it, go for it, because you're most likely going to get it. But yes, when you're playing against people that look for those breakaway opportunities, you're going to get punished. And Barracuda is now up by 2.
Sometimes that behavior can only get worse if you find yourself at a goal deficit and you get kind of the blinders in your eyes. Not necessarily saying that's happening to the Lynx yet, but it always is a possibility, especially if Barracudas keep up the pressure. Brown is going to stop that shot. Quez just pinching it off the wall. Is going to leave it for Green, and it just falls down right in front of the goal, but no goal quite yet.
Ball at the midfield, Drift's going to grab it. We do see a Demolitions come out onto Greed, making a defense opportunity for the Barracudas a little bit difficult. Greed off the respawn, though, is going to carry the ball across the midfield stripe. Tries to dunk it down to Quez, but unfortunately Wilds will be the one to grab it instead and send it into the Barracudas corner.
Drift is going to head back, but Greed looking to make the play is going to be denied by Wilds there. Quez isn't going to be doing much to be able to stop the clear. Retries again, but the clear is pretty much gotten here for the Lynx, and now they're going to try to set themselves up for a goal. The Drift is waiting, sees his shot, blocked by Quez. Barracudas maintain their 2-0 lead.
Barracudas were boost started quite a bit there, but they did not allow that ball to cross that goal line just yet. They do have boost up now. Quest is going to pop the ball up, send it to the side. Greed's going to rotate into that midfield position. Wild trying to put pressure onto Quez. Unfortunately, can't find it. Quez dunks the ball down, tries to send it to Cran, but both of them are in front of any of the Lynx members, and that's goal number 3 for the Barracudas.
That just might be the final difference here for the Barracudas. Wilds is going to play it off to the side. Adrift is waiting for the pass, but Greed steals away from them in mid-air. Leave it for Quez. Quez that was a torpedo if I ever saw one. This was like a missile out of the sky.
Quez is like, I'm going to lose possession. I'm at least going to take you out in the process. That was beautiful. Adrift off the respawn now is going to look for an opportunity to get in play, but it's going to be Thrift and Wilds right now taking care of business. We have Quez stop that pass, and unfortunately a whiff there from Adrift will give us a few extra seconds here for the Barracudas to find another goal. We're less than 1 minute left. Lynx need to try and close this one up and get 3 goals. Could be impossible, though.
Here goes Thrift, 2 Wilds. Back to Adrift. A lot of fighting in midfield and unable to get the side control back. Here goes Greed with the play just up and to the left. Crayon sees it, gets his goal, and Barracuda's 4-0. Final nail in the coffin for Lynx. You're just going to have to try next round.
Very similar to how we saw game number 1 go, but it's flipped the other direction. Definitely demonstrating this could go either way. Yes, Barracudas are going to be at match point after these next 25 seconds have elapsed, but that does not mean that the Lynx couldn't do the same, and we see a game number 5. Ball in front of Lynx goal, double commit, and unfortunate collision between 2 Lynx members will result in goal number 5 for the Barracudas.
At this point, just nothing can really turn the tide. Wilds is going to try here, maybe get 1 statement goal. This is going to be last few seconds just to count things down. Going to go to game 4 with Barracudas now at a match point. So it seems like they are quite the challenge for the Lynx, who have lost their perfect win record for the night, are going to have to pull together. It's a great chance this match for the Lynx to show how much they have improved since round 1. Because the Barracudas looked the best overall last week until the grand finals, so a win over the Barracudas would be a great statement for the Lynx.
I can't argue with you, but I want to give a shout out to Cran right now from the Barracudas, because, like, oh my goodness, Cran, you played some clean, fantastic Rocket League in that last game. I mean, like, you weren't going for the flashy plays. You were just like, I'm going to be there for the follow-up, and that was the game changer there for your team. I want to see if you can do that again, or, I mean, unfortunately, if the Lynx catch on to that, Adrift Lemming might make it so you're nowhere, anywhere on that field for the follow-up in general. But we'll have to wait and see.
We'll just have to wait and see. And we're going to see now if the ultimate question is answered, if the competitiveness of this game matches this face-off that these 2 teams had last week, and if it goes to a full game 5, or if the Barracudas can close things out now. Greed with the first play, off to the corner, stopped by Thrift, now leaves it toward Crayon. Greed is going to recover, but gets beaten to the ball by Adrift, and Quez just hanging back in the goalie position is able to stop the goal. Someone else is going to have to rotate back. Now that's going to be Greed, and the shot is just a bit too high to go into the goal. Even the Barracudas, those crucial few seconds they need to recover and clear.
Quez, unfortunately, has the ball hit off the ceiling, so they lose possession for a few moments. Ball still in Lynx territory. Cran looks for the reset, but unfortunately, Drift's going to get the first touch. Greed tries to sail over them and snag it away. Can't, so Quez has to be there for the follow-up. Wild's trying to push Quez off possession. Instead, they push Thrift out of the play a little bit, getting a little too greedy for the Lynx. However, Greed is the one playing for the Barracudas, so it doesn't make quite as much sense. We'll have to see if they clean that up. They've got 4 minutes to do so.
Greed shot is going to get denied and pushed off to the corner. Crayon plays it off the wall, but no real follow-up for that play. And wow, just last second save there for the Barracudas. If you were to just judge kind of the trail line that soccer ball left, that was very dangerous for them. They almost got scored on by the Lynx.
No goals, though, just yet for either team. Ball at the midfield. It's going to be Thrift carrying it into Barracuda territory. They have Adrift but double commit, but there was 2 attackers at the same time. It's not going to be punished. Cran now has the opportunity, plays around 1, can't get it past Adrift, though, who tried to go for the demo, ended up not finding it. Quez pushing forward with possession, has to have a teammate follow up. It's going to be Greed, but it actually is going to be accredited to Quez. This is where I wish we had the replay because I wanted to see what happened.
It wouldn't have gone in without Greed.
No, Greed, I'm giving you the credit even though the system gave it to Quez. No offense, Quez.
That just might be the motivation to get a goal where there's no dispute whatsoever, where there's no dispute about that save.
Woo!
A great save by Greed, but Wilds with the follow-up is going to deny it. And so all those shots on goal finally go through for the Lynx, who just basically reset the match.
Yeah. We're tied 1-1. It's complicated 0-0. Let's see who's going to end up pulling ahead here in the next 3 minutes. Both teams looking for 1 goal to put them in the lead, and then that extra security goal to maintain that position, even if there's a buzzer beater opportunity. Greed shot on goal turned away by Adrift. Ball still in Lynx territory, though. Drift sends it to Thrift at the mid. Quez, though, steals it away right after.
Ooh, the demo there at the crucial moment for the Barracudas means they can't get a shot on goal. They have to defend and aren't going to be able to, as Wilds once again seems to be the player that just springs to life whenever the team needs him.
He goes a little bit wild.
Yeah. Okay, you cannot criticize me for the jokes for the rest of the night.
No, not at all.
you have lost your high ground.
I fully intended on losing it. It's okay. Cran pushes the ball past Thrift. You gotta send it to Quez. Ball's gonna hit that back wall before any of the Barracudas can catch up, though. However, the Lynx rotated back in very quickly. Wilds is nowhere in sight. This is an opportunity for the Barracudas, but it's thwarted by Adrift.
Ran off the wall, leaves it for Thrift. A great win for the Lynx here, but I think this just kind of demonstrates the age-old problem that so many esports tower teams have is they can never win more than 1 game in a row.
No.
That just seems like the age-old curse in terms of esports tower.
That's okay. I said I wanted a game number 5. I can now eat my words.
Maybe
Quez,
not.
Quez,
Okay.
take that away, though. I mean, you'll save my voice, Quez. No argument coming from me.
We'll just have to see another play from Quezzy, but do it again here just off the kickoff. Oh, and Thrift gets the tap on it. He wanted. Crayon tries to elevate up, but is going to find himself in a bad position. So now a little bit of breathing room here in a dangerous situation. Quez had to save it there, and he does, and gets demoed by the Lynx, who are all of a sudden just trying to deny any opportunity that the Barracudas have to play.
Okay, Adrift is very demolition heavy. Start demoing Adrift so y'all don't get demoed. That is my word of advice for the next minute and 15 seconds.
Crayon, a nicely aimed shot on goal, but gets saved there by the Lynx. West just kind of stops right in midfield. Oh, has the opportunity here. 1, 2, he had to play it around 2, possibly 3, as all of them were converging on the goal at the same time. And that defense is going to keep the Barracudas from evening it up.
50 seconds left. Barracudas just need 1 goal to equalize this and send us into overtime. Our first one of the evening, mind you, but the ball is in Barracuda territory, making that task very difficult. Greed finds the clear, but there's Cran barely gets a touch on it. I think Quez tries to center it up, and I believe Thrift will find the clear here.
Ooh, and that's not the tap that Greed wanted. Oh, look at that! What a shot! Wilds at the last moment to save it, and the follow-up ties it up!
Okay, now either someone's going to go completely ballistic and find a goal here in the most craziest manner possible, or both teams are just going to try and buy for overtime as we tick down into the last 10 seconds here of game number 4.
I don't know. This is an opportunity. Quez was trying to play the angles there. It's going to be a nice setup. Adrift is going to push it off to the side as long as the ball stays in the air. Maybe Grant with the buzzer beater. He just gets the wrong tap on it.
Greed!
Follow up again. They're playing too high.
Greed!
And another from Greed. How many shots can you have on goal? They're repositioning themselves, but they're running low on boosts. And
oh, no.
Are you kidding me? Oh! If the Lynx had gotten the goal in that sort of situation, that would have been the ultimate kick in the teeth for the Barracudas. Oh, they tried so hard, but they weren't able to find their goal. Now we're into overtime. One goal is going to do it.
Under or over a minute, call it now.
Under.
All right, I have to go over then. We'll have to see. Ball is in Barracuda territory. Drift tries. Oh, yes, yes.
What
point.
did I say?
You got it. You got it.
I got it.
All right.
Okay. Now we move on to game number 5. Again, thank you to the 6 people who are responsible for this and us losing our voices there. You all are very talented and a great series that we have thus far. I got to say, the Lynx were fighting for everything there in the final. They had to keep the Barracudas from scoring a goal. And I got to say, there were a lot of demos brought out in the last, a little more than would be allowed in polite society.
Yeah, and I do peruse the Rocket League Twitter a little bit, and there's definitely a lot of hate towards people that play the Demolition Derby style game that Adrift is playing. But Adrift, it's working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, you're breaking other people. But with that being said, someone needs to do something about you. You are getting away with far too much, my friend. Let's see if you get shut down in game number 5, or if you back off of those demolitions just a little bit.
Or if they like playing the demolition game, then just start playing the game that they want to play and start demoing Adrift.
Yeah, there you go. Return the favor. That I said that during the last minute, I think, of game number 3. So, I mean, it might work out. We'll have to wait and see. Is someone going to give Adrift a taste of his own medicine, or is Adrift just going to continue to do whatever Adrift wants?
Well, it has to end here. This is going to be the final game of this series to determine who is going to be the ultimate victor, Barracudas or Lynx, 2 very evenly matched teams. Let's find out. And Wilds is going to start it off by leaving it for Adrift. Greed and Quez, it's not quite the start that I would want, starting things off with a double commit to save. Barracuda is going to have to find their footing fast, and they might just do so. Oh, that was the out-of-nowhere rotation by Wild. If he hadn't been there, that would have been an easy score.
Was now playing off the back wall to get some momentum. Is going to collide with Thrift in mid-flight. Thrift manages to get it to Wilds, but Cran takes out Wilds for a few moments. Adrift will elevate, pushing the ball back towards that midfield stripe. Quez is going to look to push it off the ceiling and dunk it down to Cran, but Cran over-rotates, so Quez has to be the one to take another touch on it, but they need to be careful. They did allay a demo there from Adrift.
Drift does try to get a goal there, but just gets beaten out barely. Quez is unable to find the pinch he wanted there. Rita's going to have to set it up, but Thrift just very effortlessly clears it back over. Quez is going to try to clear it, maybe play it off the wall a little. No, it's going to get answered back by the Lynx pretty easily here. And there goes Quez again. Wilds to center toward Adrift, and a great, beautiful play by Quez to keep the ball away from the Barracuda's goal.
Wilds goes for the shot, saved by Quez, who has the opportunity to carry it forward. They will. They have Cran, but Cran is taken out by Thrift, making this goal-scoring opportunity a little bit more difficult for the Barracudas. It's now back in their territory. Greed trying to get this ball away from Wilds. Wilds is going to send it to Thrift, who elevates to bring it over Cran. Greed goes for the challenge again, and it's going to be Wilds looking for an opportunity to send it to Adrift, but it's popped up and slowing down quite a bit.
And just barely, just the smallest of taps and the slowest of speed for the ball to just trickle in and give the Lynx the first goal. And that is, I'm seeing some questionable double commits all around here.
I mean, that was, if I'm doing my math right, that was 2-on-2, right?
Yeah, it seems like it was. I saw 2 from one. I think it was 2-on-1 from my view, but maybe you got a better look at it than I did.
Wilds gets the ball to the mid. Greed's going to stop it. Thrift will rotate in, though. I thought that might be a slow into the net with no defense, but it was not. Lynx still in the lead by 1 as we cross into the last 2.5 minutes here of game number 5. Barracuda's desperately wanting the opportunity to find another goal.
Leaves it right in front of the goal there, but there's just too little of a time window there to try to score on that. Barracuda's clear, beautiful redirect there by Quez, but unable to get the goal. Just the defense from the Lynx is a bit too steadfast, too reliable. Wilds to elevate up, slight tap by Quez, but still is unable to stop the clear that the Lynx find for themselves. Drift is going to be looking to center. Oh, that looked like That looked like a blue player might have played a little bit of a role in that.
This is why it's a good thing we aren't showing the replays right now. Lynx
Yeah,
are in the
just
lead by
move forward.
Yeah, Lynx in the lead by 2. We still have roughly a minute per goal here if you're rooting for the Barracudas. However, if you are, I believe it's Thrift's younger brother, you're definitely very happy right now as the Lynx are in a very comfortable position.
It's a position that they are used to, a 2-goal lead. Once they get that, they're sitting pretty. Not if they get demo. Again, another demo out there by the Lynx Barracudas. Even if you don't like the gameplay style, you might have to beat them at their own game here because they are just too comfortable picking off your members one at a time.
Minute and 15 seconds left. Barracudas desperately looking for even one goal for themselves right now. It is in their territory. Ball sent to the mid, stopped by Wilds from crossing that stripe. Quez pinches the ball over towards the side. There's no follow-up from the Barracudas, though. It's going to be from the Lynx. A drift pops it up to Thrift. Thrift has very little pressure here in the corner, but Quez will finally seal that ball away across the midfield stripe with it.
It's pushed off to the side. Rayon trying to set it up and would have to play off his own setup actually there. So things just aren't quite working together for the Barracudas when they need it. That's a very shaky shot on goal there as a double commit there by the Barracudas, showing that maybe things are getting to them in this crucial point. They only have 30 seconds to get 2 goals.
Cran with possession, brings it across midfield stripe, pops it to Quez. Quez collides with Thrift in mid-flight, so Drift will get a touch on it and flick it into the net. That's goal number 3 for the Lynx. Barracuda still sitting at that ever so unfortunate goose egg. I do agree with you, Jem. They're not going to be able to catch up on this one.
Yeah, it's just that is a game, set, and match as it would be, because that's going to be the win over the crucial 5th game. Maybe a goal there just as a little bit of an ego boost, but isn't even going to find that. That is it in the Lynx for 2 of their matches. I mean, it's not every game they're undefeated, but overall match-wise, they're still undefeated, winning that against the Barracudas in Game 5.
And considering that was 8 back-to-back games of Rocket League, nicely done. That's a lot of Rocket League to play. That's very exhausting.
Yep, very good job by them all around.
And if you want the opportunity to maybe, land one of those fantastic scholarships that we talked about earlier, you got to be seen by some expert college recruiters, or maybe you want to talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, or game producers, then you'll want to join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights, and with our featured Rumbles, recruiters are taking notice as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship.
Well, the Lynx talent, the Barracudas, go to 2-0, and now we're going to find out if they can go to 3-0 and just completely sweep the whole night, which is a terrifying thought.
That's a lot of Rocket League.
That's just a lot of games to win back to back to back.
I really hope y'all are standing up, stretching your legs, and drinking water. I really hope you are.
Yeah, definitely something we should probably be doing right now as we head to break.
Yeah, so I guess we'll be back here in just a few moments. We need to rest our voices for the few seconds that we can between each one of these games. Join us back here in just a few minutes.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by. Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by. Growing up in Idaho, we have certain rules we live by. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting from the Boise State Game Pans Esports Arena. The Lynx have a chance to run the table in the group stage tonight. Up next, they face off against our champions from round one, the Scorpions. I'm still your host, Artie Nerdy Bird Rain, and joining me on desk is Jacob Jem Palmer. All right, so
Do you think the Lynx are going to do it? Go all the
I
way?
think they're showing that they showed a little bit of weird footing though against the Barracudas. So if they're going up against the grand champions now, I don't know if they can quite do it. It seems, especially in that second game, they were either on or they were off. And so it seems to me like the biggest thing that they need to work on going forward is just being consistent. Like, get back in the thing of just winning games back to back. Don't let the nerves of, oh, we're ahead, we can lighten up. Don't let that mentality seek in. Just go. Charge for the end.
At this point, they have played 8 back-to-back games of Rocket League, and if they want the shortest distance from here to the finish, they need to 3-0 sweep the Scorpions and play to the best of their abilities for 3 more matches. That means 11 back-to-back games of Rocket League. But if they extend it all the way to the 5-game series, that's 13 games, and that is a lot to ask for from any one of these players. Whereas, Gababy, Nano, and Potato have been, been able to relax for the majority of this evening and coming in fresh. Let's see if the Lynx are going to be able to maintain, their current level of mental stamina going into these next few games.
I'm going to call it for the Lynx. I'm going to go out on a limb and actually call it for them. I'm feeling a bit feisty today, and I'm gonna go for the prediction market here.
You're gonna say it's the Lynx?
I'm gonna say it's the Lynx. So let it be known, let it now. I will be willing to bet any actual non-currency that happens to be around in this point. So 10,000 Dave & Buster's bonus points if I win.
I was going to say, can you buy me a skin in Valorant? But okay. 10,000.
They're so valuable, even Dave & Buster's doesn't know they exist. So these are crucial bonus points up for the line here.
Bucks, okay?
Yeah,
All right, so there's the guess from the desk coming from Gem. It's going to be in favor of the Lynx. So that means I have no choice. I got to go for the Scorpions. Don't let me down, guys. You won last week. Let's see if you can do it again. But with that in mind, we're going to give you guys some pieces of advice, especially towards the Scorpions, because this is the first time they'll be genuinely hearing it today, I think, and it permeating their eardrums. And they come in the form of Doc's Keys to the Game, presented today by Esports Tower. Those keys to the game are create mistakes, punish the overcommits, play the walls better, and demo to disrupt. Score Pro advice at esportstower.com, where you can improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up.
They're ready to head in. The Lynx have a chance to go for that perfect 3-0 in the group stage if they can defeat the defending champs of the Scorpions. Speaking of the Scorpions, player you might want to watch out for is Potato. Really stepped up his game to the Scorpions to help them win the title in round 1. He was viewed as the weak link on the team, but is currently among the scoring leaders. So kind of a bit of showing that he deserves to be on the Scorpions team. We'll see what he can do this week.
We've got Gababy trying to crowd around 2. Does an intentional fake out to leave it for Nano. Has a great shot on goal. It's going to be turned away by Adrift. Potato tries to go for the reset opportunity. He's going to take out one of the Lynx players in the defense position, allow Nano to find goal number 1 for the Scorpions.
Yeah, and using a little bit of Lynx of the own medicine against them. Kind of very forceful. Wow.
Oh, they tried to go for it.
Almost goes for the goal right off the kickoff. Not going to find it there. Can the Lynx recover? They're going to set it down for Adrift here, and Adrift takes a weird turn right. Now tries to corral it back. Going to leave it for Wilds. Nano to elevate up, and it's going to head way back over toward Lynx territory.
Ball in the back third on Lynx side of the field. It's going to cross that midfield stripe. Adrift has pressure on them from Potato. Gababy comes into the passing lane to prevent that back pass. Wilds out at the midfield, pops it up, gives it to Adrift. Drift shot on goal. Going to go right in.
Alrighty, we are continuing on in our match with the Scorpions and the Lynx. Continuing to move, and with 4 minutes left, Lynx have evened it up, but can they prove themselves to be the ultimate victors here as Potato makes the play? Going forward, Adrift is going to stop it in midfield. Now Gababy is looking for the play, just off the front post, manages to get it past the player there, threading the needle between player and post, and getting the goal to bring it 2-1.
Off the kickoff, Wilds is going to try and get it away from Gababy. They do, but Nano comes in to try and steal that ball away from Wilds. Still, though, Wilds manages to maintain possession. Ball is above the Scorpions' goal, pushed away by Gababy to the midfield stripe. Nano takes it off the ricochet from Thrift and carries it into the goal to find the Scorpions goal number 3.
Well, now all of a sudden my prediction is looking a lot shakier now as the Scorpions have just opened up with just a class on how to play Rocket League right now. We'll see if Thrift or Wilds can do anything about it. I like that. Just go right into the face and just try to stop the bleeding through whatever way possible. Well, that demo isn't really going to turn out too much, though. They actually need goals here. Potato's going to drive it around the corner to set it up for Gababy, but Thrift manages to find it clear to at least get it to midfield. We'll see if they can continue on from there as the Drift now pinches it way up in the air, down, way over toward the other side of the goal. It's now in front of the goal, but Gababy keeps the ball clear away from any scoring position for the Lynx.
Potato manages to get it past a Drift. Thrift, though, steals it away. Nano gets a great pinch in towards the goal. Another follow-up shot's going to be thwarted by a Drift. A Drift gets it past Potato, crossing midfield stripe. Nano rotating back is going to be the first one to find a touch. Does look like a Drift is going to take out one of our Scorpions, so defense is going to be a little shaken for a bit. Off the respawn, though, Potato sends the ball to the midfield stripe.
Nano to try to center it. It's right there, and just a little bit of an effort from Potato to try to get yet another goal for the Scorpions. The Lynx just look like a completely different team right now. I mean, maybe this is the fact that we've seen them for so long that the cracks are starting to form in the foundation, because with the double commit there and basically no boost and they have to all fill up here, I don't see them making any big plays in the near future, but maybe they can prove me wrong.
About 1 minute per goal here if you're rooting for the Lynx to equalize this out, but Scorpions are in the favored position with that security goal even for themselves. Ball is still in Lynx territory. Gababy tries to center it to Nano. Instead, has to be their own follow-up. Nano tries to push a Drift out of the way, but a Drift allays that opportunity for Nano, now carrying it forward for themselves. Gababy, though, came back all the way from the other side of the field to make a great save, but Wild secondary touch, even from... They were flipped upside down. Not really any other eloquent way to say that.
Yeah.
Finds another goal for the Lynx.
But still, it's the timing that was so beautifully right there. You just had to line that up exactly right to find it. Is indeed going to be the case. Now Wilds to push it way back toward the field. Gababy, just a little bit of a deflect over to the side. Now here goes Thrift. It's going to hit the crossbar, actually go just a bit above the crossbar and heads way back toward midfield. That ball is on fire right now with how fast it's cruising. And Wilds pushes it into the goal to get the equalizer for the Lynx. We've got a game again.
Minute 19 seconds off the kickoff. It's going to be Gababy winning it, but the follow-up from Nano is going to be a little too slow, allowing Thrift to cut in and get a touch on it, carrying across midfield stripe. Potato will take out, I believe that was Thrift in the process, though, so it could be easier for Gababy to clear this one back over. Challenged by a Drift, pops the ball up, takes the shot on goal. There's no one home, and that is goal number 4 for the Scorpions.
Right, an anticlimactic goal at that one, too. That was wide open. At this point, I would expect the Lynx to just be everywhere the Scorpions are, but they weren't quite. Now we have just 1 minute left. Still only one goal separating between these two teams. It is anybody's game, and Wilds is going to try to make the play happen with Thrift demoing everybody. And there goes the Drift again. It just bounces off the crossbar. Follow up. He fights it. It's tied again, 4-4. Oh boy, Lynx are putting on the performance of the lifetime. And this is probably one of the most exciting games we have seen thus far tonight. A 4-4 tie. You do not normally see that high scoring of a game from both teams. So both these teams, the nerves have got to be flowing through. The angle just wasn't quite there for a Drift. Wilds to try again. Nano is going to be looking for this clear. It's crucial if he gets it. And Potato continuing. It's going to bounce off the backboard. Is there anyone there for the follow-up? It's going to be Nano. And can he aim it well enough? It just goes off the front post. And Wilds with a slight tap. Not going to find it. It might just go to overtime.
Gababy knocks the ball to Nano, but the ball is in no one's possession for the Scorpions. It was with a Drift, and now we are in overtime. Golden goal victory. Under over a minute. Quickly.
Oh man, I'm making so many predictions here at once. Under. I'm doubling down.
All right, I think you might be right, but a Thrift shot's going to be stolen away by Gababy. Thrift not trying to give up just yet. Wilds comes in as well. The dynamic duo trying to set something up, stolen away by Nano. Sends it to Gababy. Gababy off the backboard. Protato's there. Potato takes the shot, and that is going to be the golden goal for the Scorpions. 20 seconds.
I mean, but I still don't know how to feel, but it's the team that I originally bet against. So one of my bets comes true, one of them doesn't. I just don't know, you know. The bonus points are just up in the air right now, but hey, if things don't go my way, these were bonus points backed by cryptocurrency, so they could crash at any time. So, you know, even if you lose, now if you win, then they'll be valuable to me, but if they lose, they might as well be worthless. So I'm just couching so I win nonetheless.
What?
That is just the moment. I always love the moments where just in the sheer madness that comes out on this stage that I can leave Nerdy speechless. So do you have anything to say as we're ready to head into the second game?
You know what? Right now, one of your predictions has come true. It's kind of shaking my.
I'm 2 for 3 right now.
It's kind of shaking me a little bit. Yeah, you are 2 for 3. Your third one still might come true of the Lynx actually winning this one out. Considering you are correct so far with the ones that have come to fruition and like have already since passed, I'm a little worried for the Scorpions. But nonetheless, I'm going to hold strong and hold true. However, if we go to game number 5, gosh darn it, Nano, you better put on the watermelon car or I'm going to blame all the bad juju on that.
Yes, we do love seeing the cosmetics from the individual players, and Nano is well known for bringing out the watermelon car. Might just be the good luck charm that they need, but still, I'm not seeing it, so Scorpions now are just going to have to make up for that in pure skill alone.
Potato in the corner has Adrift and Thrift putting pressure on them. They can't get it past Adrift. And it does look like we're going to have a demo onto Potato from Adrift. Nano now looking for an opportunity to corral it, but Adrift will bring it over them instead. Gababy goes for the challenge. Ball is going to hit off the ceiling. Potato dunks down to the midfield where Nano is. Nano has 2 on them. One of them is our Demolition Derby expert. And we do see that instead Wilds and Adrift will get demoed, but Thrift pushing forward is thwarted by Gababy.
Wilds gets the tap around the corner. Gababy to stop it. Now Thrift is going to be looking for his clear. Could he play it off the wall? He doesn't have any boost is the problem, and they're just going to stop. Now they're able to fill up on boost, so this might be a play that goes forward here. That was a bit shaky there in terms of resources. Demo's going to go out. Looks like it was on to Nano. He respawns now. Wilds to just... Did he water... What are you even doing? Are you purposely trying to ruin my perfect prediction record right now? Because that's the only explanation I can think of for just a total boo-boo like that one.
I'll take it.
I'm sure you'll take it. Nerdy is just quietly rubbing their hands together going, it's all according to plan.
Oh, we have a car pile-up, and the pile-up was of the Scorpions players in the goal. It wasn't capitalized on immediately by the Lynx, though, thankfully for the Scorpions and for me. As Potato goes to dunk it down to Nano, it's going to hit off the ceiling. Wilds looks to send it to a teammate. Instead, they send it off the back wall. Nano looking for a clear, but ends up going to Thrift, so ball still in Scorpions territory.
Gababy is going to be looking for the clear. It's going to be, you know, Drift Lemming just cleared right in front of him. It respawns right in front of the ball and immediately tries to push it back towards Scorpions. Yeah, it might be getting a bit chippy between these two teams. I'm not going to lie here. They're trading demos back and forth here.
Ball is in Lynx territory, though, so the Lynx either need to get a demo onto someone or they need to clear it out.
Shot on goal. What is going on, Lynx, right now? Because something isn't adding up. The math is faulty. The equation doesn't make sense. I'm seeing too many own shots on goal here. And that's something to maybe make the world make a little bit of sense again. They find the equalizer tied 1-1.
To their credit, this is game number 9 in a row for them, so they could be getting a little tired. Maybe they need to back off a little bit. Specifically, Drift Lemming needs to back off a little bit. But we'll have to see if they can maintain, well, if they can push themselves into the lead. Gababy tries to go for the one to put the Scorpions up by 1. Unfortunately, it hits the crossbar awkwardly. Nano goes for the reset. It's going to be touched by Drift before Gababy can get a touch on it. Still, though, in Lynx territory, Scorpions with possession.
Just the tap, Gababy to answer that. set it up for Nano, which I don't know what route he's taking right now. This is more straightforward here as Gababy is unable to push it into the goal. Wild with the save there, keeping the Lynx alive.
Looks like there was a demo into one of the Lynx players there. Gababy has rotated all the way back to ensure they can grab some boost. Thrift is going to take out, I believe that, I don't know who just got demoed. Someone got demoed. We've got 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the clock. Still tied 1 aside. Both teams desperate to find 1 goal, maybe 1 extra, but if this timer keeps going down with no goals scored, it's just going to be the golden goal situation almost without even hitting overtime, or we will. We'll have to wait and see.
Here we go, 90 seconds left, and it's still 1-1. Scorpions can pull away here and get the lead. Maybe, but not Thrift. He's going to try to make the play here, and it's not. Gababy is right there to stop it before any of the Lynx can even follow up on that one. Now we're going to drive it around, but Scorpions can't rest too easy here. They don't have a lead to sit on. They have to find a goal to score here if they don't want this to go into overtime.
Adrift is going to have Potato challenge them, who manages to flick the ball up over Adrift. Potato sends it into the corner, tries to go for the reset play, but there wasn't enough momentum. But Gababy will pop it up over the Lynx. Wild comes back in, has Thrift to help them out in their back pocket, but Potato again steals that ball away. Thrift returning the favor, ball in the corner. It's in Scorpions territory. Will Lynx find a goal here? They have 30 seconds to do so. Will the Scorpions, or are we going back into another overtime?
Just might here. The Scorpions need to find a clear. They have just enough time to make a play here, and Nano's going to try to make that play. Gababy is already going to preemptively head over to the other side of the field, but Adrift with a beautiful shot might put an end to that plan. Gababy has to rotate back. Now just 10 seconds left. This is not where the Scorpions want to be. You're going to have a heck of a clear and a save there, and another dangerous scenario there for the Scorpions. They're just going to reset this to overtime and let everyone take a breather, or maybe not, because the Lynx might yet prove I need to take a breather right now. Let me collect myself as we head into overtime here. These teams do not want to make it a boring match.
Not at all. Potato gets it past Thrift. Now ball in the corner. Looks like we have a double commit. Nana, all 3 members of the Lynx are very scared to leave that goal box when ball is in their territory. Lynx looking for an opportunity to find a clear, but it's thwarted by Potato, who's going to try and bring it around here in the corner. Gets ganged up on by Thrift and Adrift. Nano tries to assist, but gets there a little too late. Double commit from the Scorpions is going to be punished by Adrift off the back wall. Gababy, though, finds the clear first, stopped by Thrift at the midfield.
Leaving it for Potato, but there's 2 in the goal, and Adrift is going to be the first one. All 3 of them moving up the field right now. Gababy is actually going to play it over to the other side of the field. Adrift is going to meet him there. Another get, finds it in the middle, and Nano just barely saving. What? I mean, the Scorpions are still in the match.
Oh!
Okay. Wow. What a way to end an overtime. A save turned into the goal. It was a thought that was in the back of my mind when I saw just 10 seconds prior all of the Lynx moving up the field all at once. I mean, they were bunched together moving up the field. There was a little thought in the back of my head saying there's no one hanging back for the goal. They're going all in here. They're going to get punished if the Scorpions find any footing. And just 1 clear did it for the Scorpions.
It's the trend that I see the Lynx have. It's like when they're in the offensive position, all of them are going for it, which, like, again, I don't blame you. It's worked out thus far, but right now it is not. And then when the ball is in your territory, all 3 of you are bunching up. So it's like all or nothing game territory right now when you got to have smooth, clean rotations. You can't be putting all your beans in one basket.
It's like traditional ice hockey. There's a time to get rid of the goalie and put the extra player on the field. There's a time to go all in if you're behind and you just need to make something happen. If you're tied in an overtime, that ain't it. You need to make sure that you have that defense there and not leave your goal completely open.
I 100% agree. Let's see if the Lynx can clean this one up, or if their run of undefeated victories is going to be stopped here and now by the Scorpions. Because the Scorpions are at match point. I might walk away with some theoretical fake money.
Yeah, it's high stakes here. Only only the most thrilling of circumstances right now for this third game. Lynx are going to have to pull off a reverse sweep if they want to go away undefeated in matches, and old habits die hard, I suppose. They leave the goal open yet again, and Scorpions into the early lead.
I will point out, though, that Gababy tends to get a bit greedy when it comes to playing for the Scorpions. Yes, Gababy is a gifted player, but, you know, you can't be a ball hog. You got to let your other teammates shine through as well, and that can be punished at times. But it looks like a... What just happened?
I don't know what's going on for the Lynx right now, but there's no goalie for them.
They pulled the keeper. They pulled the keeper.
They pulled him. He's on the bench right now. Coach, let me back in there. And everyone's all of a sudden questioning the managerial aspect of the team.
This is why I don't manage Rocket League.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we need to have, you know, forget football manager. We need Rocket League manager on Steam. Watch out for that 2013 green light.
Yes. Thrift now pushing forward, has Nano trying to put pressure on them, but again, we're seeing it here. All three members bunched up here in Scorpions territory. Looks like the only time they're rotating back is when they're trying to be defensive and put pressure on one of the offensive players. Need to stop doing that right now. Scorpions are sitting in a great position up by 3. I thought Gababy was about to put that up by 3.
Man.
I jinxed it. Up by 2 right now. Ball finally cleared out of Lynx territory. Wilds has no
here
pressure.
Again. Is there going to be one who can rotate back fast enough? Thrift is at midfield, and that's it. If there's a breakaway here, it's just a Drift. They just need to play it around one above a Drift, and Wild's just barely saving it.
Ooh, a Drift had just respawned, and they had very little boost, and they were in a sticky situation. It was a risky option to move forward or backwards, because either they are taking themselves out of the play or they're going to allow the ball to go in because they pushed it in. Now we have 3 minutes, 10 seconds left on the clock. Scorpions still up by 2. Lynx having something go wrong, and we don't know exactly how to fix it just yet. Let's see if they can.
Slide tap from Potato. Over to a Drift. Wilds in the middle. Denied by Nano. Thrift again is going to try the clear. Follow it this time. And runs right into Potato. Gababy to elevate up. It's important to notice Nano also elevated there, but ran out of boost. So Nano's going to have to take a precious few seconds to refuel. But Gababy might just do it all themselves. Nano at the right moment gets a goal. And that's 3-0 for the Scorpions.
You know, something that always worries me is, like, if their parents are watching these games right now and, like, just hears me say Gababy tends to be a ball hog, like, do they stop over to their child's room, open the door, and are like, hey, Nerdy says you're being a ball hog,
play
cut it
nice.
out. I really hope that's not happening and that Gababy just hears me say that in the bod.
Yeah. Or a moment that, you know, they're just so proud of their children, and then they tune in and hear us just absolutely roasting.
Right? Because, like, there was a great opportunity for Gababy, but then they saw a better one to give to Nano. I'm like, Gababy, did you hear me earlier? If you did, I'm sorry.
I don't know. That was why, you know, you couldn't see it on screen, but Nerdy just, you know, did a complete head desk on that first goal. Even though it was the Scorpions, their team scoring, it was because the Lynx didn't listen to them. It gets aggravating when you're just trying to help and no one's listening.
Thrift's little brother. Go bug him. Oh, Wilds. Wilds has his Drift. Instead, they try to send it to Thrift. Why would you go for the risky play? Why? You had a Drift right there.
I just think everything's fallen by the wayside. You should be happy. You're going to get the fake theoretical currency very soon here.
I mean, yes, I love that, but I know that these players can do so much better, but I get it. Thrift, Wild, you two are like, you know, 2 peas in a pod, but you got to incorporate that 3rd pea in there.
It might be time for the separation here. I mean, this is the grounds here.
Yeah, maybe.
And there you go. Another bike, baby. Scoring. Nano actually has a hat trick, and we didn't notice it.
Sorry, Nano. There's been other things.
We were too busy yelling at the other team. But take that as a sign that you're doing well, because you're capitalizing on the mistakes that they're making. Oh, man, and Lynx had such a great... they have the talent to go up against the Scorpions, and just not showing here. It's going to be 3-0. If nothing happens right now, they're going to have to best a pace of 10 seconds per goal here.
That's just borderline impossible. I have never seen that many goals scored. I've seen 4 in 40 seconds, but not 5-40. And at this point, I do believe the Scorpions are going to walk away with a 3-0 sweep, ending the crusade that the Lynx have put forth this evening for themselves. But they still will be able to walk away with the 3-1 scorecard for themselves, which is nothing to scoff at nonetheless.
There goes Gababy over to the side. Potato is they're just going to keep possession of this soccer ball for right now. They don't really need to do anything, nothing too risky. No matter what happens here, they're going to get the win. And the one prediction I stuck my neck out for the most is not going to be made up by that singular goal there. The Scorpions win this 3-0, and congratulations to them for doing that. They are going to be the final champions here, getting the win. And great job to them for doing that. And this means only one of two things, Nerdy. This either means that I am completely unreliable in my predictions, or everyone gets to be a winner tonight. And I'm going to go with the second, because that sounds a lot more positive.
One as well. I mean, like, your overtime predictions, like, even I almost said it again in our third overtime, but I was like, there's no need. If I say it, Jem's just going to say under a minute, and it still was under a minute. Right up against that 60-second mark. I think it was like 50-something. They scored that golden goal. So I was like, either way, he would have been right.
Well, you know, regardless of how many times I predict overtime correctly, I'm not the one who you want to be talking to. You want to be talking to expert college recruiters and esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers. Join the club, because Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights. And with our featured Rumbles, recruiters are taking notice too. Great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship.
So the Lynx are finally stopped as the undefeated champions here this evening, and they walk away with a 3-1 on their scorecard, which is not bad. That is actually fantastic, especially with how many games they had to play back-to-back. Hats off to you guys. You did great, but we did start to see the cracks in the armor near the end. Got to clean those up going forward. Please, please listen to the VOD review. Please. And if Rake, if you hear me, please correct the things that I called out, and if I'm crazy, slam me for it on Twitter. Like, straight up at the Nerdy Bird on Twitter and say, you're crazy, stop saying this stuff, and I will stop, maybe. But up next, we're going to have the Scorpions taking on the Vipers. Do you have any predictions for that game?
No. I'm hedging my bets. And
that is safe.
I will take a safe prediction. There's going to be a break in under a minute.
Yes, Jem is right on that. We are going to take a quick break, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes to watch the Scorpions take on the Vipers. Who's going to walk away with the victory? Is it going to be a 3-0 sweep? Well, only time will tell, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes to start that story.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by. Growing up in Idaho, we have certain rules we live by. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Rocket League. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. And we are at the end of our night. Scorpions taking on the Vipers for our final game. This could be a great chance for the Vipers to rally together as a team if they can knock off the Scorpions. I'm still your host, Artie Nerdy Bird Rain, and with me on desk is still Jacob Gem Palmer. All right, so no more predictions.
No.
I won't ask that of you. But if you were to be the one in the earphones right now of the Vipers, what type of advice would you be giving them?
Play it one game at a time. I mean, that's honestly the only thing you can do. I mean, one play at a time right now because they're going up against the grand champions. They already lost their first game 0-3 against the Lynx, and that team was just beaten by the Scorpions pretty soundly. So, I mean, they are kind of the underdogs heading into this, but we've seen great performances from a team considered the underdogs. They're so massively talented players. So don't count them out quite yet. It's just a tall order.
That is definitely something you've heard me echo on the desk multitudes of times. Beyond that, I also would say have trust and faith in your teammates' skill and abilities. All three of these Vipers are extremely gifted and have their own strengths. Let's see if they can work out the kinks that they were running into in their first game tonight and have cleaned them up in the break that they had as they go into this game against the Scorpions. See if they can. Honestly, if you don't shoot for the win, shoot for making the best plays possible. Do things with a purpose and set your goal not to be with the victory, but set your goal to do specific things within the moment and accomplish those things, because it's the small victories that truly matter, because Esports Tower is all about building character and building your strengths as a player, and that is not just shown by the big W that some teams get at the end of the day.
Yes, and some of the things that these teams are going to be need to do are going to be brought to us by Doc's Keys to the Game one more time.
Yeah, and Doc's Keys to the Game in Rocket League are presented by Esports Tower. They are create mistakes, punish the overcommits. Some teams definitely did that today. Play walls better and demo dude gets roughed. Score pro advice at esportstower.com, where you can improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up.
That wasn't just Doc's Keys to the Game. That was Nerdy's roast of the game right now. That was beautiful there.
Thank you. That wasn't planned. It just happened.
Spontaneous. You know, you have to, when truth is in front of you, you have to speak it for all to hear.
I appreciate you backing my roast. With that being said, we're going to jump into our final game of the evening. Let's see if it is exciting as our previous games we've seen tonight. I'm sure it will be. It's going to be the Vipers taking on the Scorpions. Can the Vipers find a victory for themselves, whether it be one goal, one play, or one game, or even the entire series? Well, the next few minutes will tell.
Here we go into the final match of the night. Vipers versus Scorpions, and we'll see if the Scorpions can be grand champions 2 weeks in a row now. They were champions last week, so it's just a question of, well, I suppose, no, we can't decide if they're champions, that this is still group stages. So you know what? The theoretical champions, if you will.
Can they put a giant target on their back going into next week, or will they get a little bit of the pressure taken off?
I do have to say this. Thank you for changing up the arena on this. Like, this kind of variety is what keeps our fragile will alive as Rocket League casters.
Yes, we do appreciate it. Shot on goal is going to unfortunately be a little bit too wide from Nano. No one was even needed technically for the save, but it was going to be pinched off nonetheless. Potato trying to corral this ball away from two players here in the corner. Toke finally finds the opportunity to break it away, but it's going to be pushed directly towards Gababy. Shoots it towards the goal. Zydra has a whiff. Enzo has a whiff, and that's goal number 1 for the Scorpions.
Beautifully done there. Yeah, it's just a showing of how good the Scorpions can be. But Vipers, they might get, almost had a breakaway goal there from the kickoff. Not quite going to find it. Scorpions recover somewhat and going to get a demo for good measure on top of that. Enzo shot toward the goal just to waterfall it down. Tokay follow-up almost gets it in there, but Scorpions just read that, kind of predicted where it was going to go just a little better.
Enzo pushing forward is disrupted by Nano. Ball still in Viper territory. Tokay has an opportunity. They're going to leave it for Zydra. It's going to push across that midfield stripe into the back corner. Gababy challenged by Zydra. No change of possession as Scorpions still maintain it, but Enzo pops it up. Gababy's forced to rotate back. Nano makes a save at the last possible second.
Zydra trying again, and Tokay is going to try to center it. It's open. Oh, way too much time there, and that gave Scorpions enough time to clear it. Protato with the pass over to Nano, intercepted by Enzo. Back over to Protato. The baby is waiting in the wings, just taking a more defensive position right now. Doesn't want to leave that goal open. Now might be the time to play it off the wall. It's going to leave Protato to stay in front of the goal. And they just get stopped midfield right there. They're going to have to defend a little bit more.
Tokay had a great breakaway play. The follow-up from Zydra was unfortunately not on target. Enzo tried to go for the follow-up and just had too much disruption coming out from the Scorpions players on the defense. Nano leaves the ball for Protato. Protato actually backs off for Nano, allowing Tokay to come in and steal that ball away. Ball in back third on Scorpion territory. Enzo goes for the shot, hits the crossbar. Zydra goes for the reset, saved by Protato.
You know, Scorpions have had a lot of pressure put onto them right now. A lot of side control in those past few minutes. This could be the Scorpions' time to get it back, though. A shot on goal. It's going to do it. Cue the whistle and the bell. Thank you very much. I love this stage.
That was actually so cute. Scorpions now have 2 goals to their name as we are crossing into the second half here of game number 1. Vipers still looking for their first one. The Vipers did manage to take 1 game off the Scorpions in their last matchup. This could be their opportunity to pull the upset of the night. If they can, it'll be quite the Herculean task indeed. Nano pushing forward with possession into Viper territory.
Protato has a chance. Reason to go. Oh, wow. That was such a valiant attempt there by the Vipers to try to save that, but wow, Scorpions, talk about a forceful shot on goal.
Nano trying to carry it around Enzo. Enzo ends up with possession nonetheless, playing this more slow and methodical play style, but Scorpions definitely are a strike first and strike fast style type of team, so Vipers need to start countering that, and they've got 1 minute and 40 seconds to do so.
Enzo, that goes right off the crossbar. Nice try by him. He's actually got 3 shots on goal. If you look at the shots on goal, they're actually even for both teams. Both teams have 5 shots on goal, but it's the defense that has been the difference here. Scorpions now have a 3-0 lead, and he tried to do a bit of fancy footwork there. Fancy tire work, I suppose, but unable to, it didn't turn into anything.
On that last shot on goal from Enzo, Zydra was actually intending to be the follow-up, but they were demoed at the midfield, so they couldn't come in and help out their teammate. That is just some fantastic defensive play coming out from the Scorpions. Shot on goal there. There's going to be a demo onto Gababy, forcing them to go to the respawn, so basically doing the favor right back. Gababy, though, sailing over those defensive Viper players, managing to send the ball right back into the back third and Viper territory. Gababy not giving up on this shot just yet. He's going to try to dunk the ball in, and Protato ends up being the one to find the final angle on it.
Now things go from bad to worse for the Vipers. Scorpions 4-goal lead with 45 seconds. I'd say that's pretty much a done deal right now. The best thing the Vipers can do is just focus on the task at hand, maybe get 1 goal, a little bit of a boost that comes with that, or the goal can just go over to the Scorpions and give them an even bigger lead. That's also a possibility. So way to play like good sports people. Or you just take the goal that you can get. You can just go with that.
Yeah, Enzo is actually gonna, I believe.
See, there you go. See,
Yeah, that was.
that's good.
Hey.
I like that. I called them out, and they were good sports.
Nano, though, is trying to immediately take away that 1 goal to put them back in the 4-goal lead. both members kind of piling up on each other from the offensive position there from the Scorpions. Might be able to be capitalized on by the Vipers, but Gababy's going to find the breakaway opportunity. Thwarted, though, by Zydra. Secondary follow-up taken away by Toke. Nano whiffs on the elevation. Toke going forward. They just have to beat out Gababy. Is there a follow-up? Ball hits the ground. I wasn't looking at the timer. And with that, unfortunately, the Vipers will walk away with a loss in the first game.
Yeah, like I said, it's a big Herculean task for the Vipers here. They definitely, I mean, I got to hand it to them. They took a lot of initiative and had a lot of times where they had good side control. It's just, I think, the defense, it's just coming in clutch a little bit more for the Scorpions right now. But the Vipers, you know, they're not sitting back. They're definitely trying to take the initiative and get goals.
They're trying to go for that midfield control as well. It's just Gababy is somehow managing to circumvent all of them at different times. It's very awkward when you're playing against someone like Gababy. They're a fantastic player. I don't know how to boom their mental, or I would give advice. I don't even think the demos would do it. Typically, that's my go-to. That's not going to work here. We were trying it during that game. You didn't really notice it because Gababy just responded normally and calm and casually to it. So best of luck to the Vipers going into this next game. My advice is still what we said earlier. Take it one play at a time.
Yeah, one play at a time. Maybe just try to turn that play into one goal and move on from there. And we'll see how they do that right now off the first kickoff. Going to go way in the favor of Toke, opening up, just...
Oh, Gababy, why'd you have to be there? I mean, like, I know, but still!
Yeah. I kind of wish they had the goal there.
Toke's not giving up just yet, but we have all three members of the Vipers here. We do have a rotate back from Enzo. They're in that midfield/defender position, which is great. Potato tries to flick it over them. Enzo pops it up instead, sending it to the side, into the corner. Looks to try and send it to Toke. Gababy's going to stop that pass, though, so Enzo has to reset it and do it again. They're going to try to carry it across midfield to try. Potato goes for the challenge, allowing Nano to take it off the wall. Give it back to Potato. Give and go to Nano. Is this an opportunity? It might be, but there was an awkward collision, so Vipers get the clear.
Baby now has an opening here, and a bit of shakiness there from the Vipers on defense. That was definitely a good opportunity for them. There we go. Toke pushes it around the corner. Z-Hydra now continuing to move up the field. I don't know if it's really going to do anything right now.
Enzo and Toke are here in Scorpion territory. Gababy, though, pushes forward, gets the perfect angle, perfect shot. Zydra can't cut in fast enough, and that's goal number 1 for the Scorpions.
Now they find themselves in this familiar spot in the lead, and Vipers just have to be careful here. I mean, they just got to be more consistent on the saves. It seems too much time when they're getting pressured that a save, somebody will whiff on it or fly by it, and so they just need to work on being a little bit more consistent in that area, and then they've already got the offensive plays that they just need to continue making. There's going to be a demo in front of the goal. Enzo has to pick up the slack as Toke is respawned. Gababy is just going to keep it at midfield. Here's the side control I was talking about, though, leaving it for... I thought he was leaving it for Z-Hydra there, but that's kind of bizarre.
One thing that's interesting is that Toke is typically our defensive powerhouse for the Vipers and is able to push forward and make play opportunities when they see them. And they almost have to be borderline perfect, but it feels as though Toke is just trying to create those opportunities rather than be the responder, which is great. But they're very much so struggling right now as we're going into the second half here of game number 2. Scorpions have 1 goal to their name, Vipers still sitting at 0.
Goes Enzo. Not going to find what he wanted there. Again, the Vipers are defending. We're almost halfway into this match. Scorpions still find themselves with a lead, and Gababy trying to make it a 2-goal lead. Not quite. The ball just kind of bounced in between players there and one of the side posts. It's now going to go off the crossbar. Nothing quite there.
Potato goes for the reset. It's going to pop it up and elevate. Look to dunk it down, but Zydra is going to send it down anyway. Gababy goes for the shot. It's too high and too wide. Enzo and Toke are both here in the corner. One of them is going to push forward. It's going to be Enzo. Nano whiffs on the challenge. Enzo has to play it around Gababy. They have Zydra for the give and go. Zydra is there for the follow-up touch, but unfortunately, disruption mid-flight means the angle is going to be knocked off kilt. Sent to the side. Enzo tries to take another shot, but it's far too wide.
Here goes Nano to push it up. Ooh. Clears and going to fall forward, and this is what I say. I mean, Vipers can get in a good position where they have all the side control. It's just they have problems kind of turning it in. 2 shots on goal. I mean, 5 say, and again, they went in too far there, and the Vipers are just kind of waiting to punish them.
We have about 90 seconds left. It's not impossible. It's a goal every 45 seconds long as they don't let the Scorpions find any more goals. Potato with possession, sends it to Nano. Enzo's there for the challenge, forces the ball to be killed in flight. Potato, though, pops it back up, sends it to Gababy, who tries to pop it up again, but Zydra will stop that. Potato, though, volleys it right over. It sails into the net, and that's goal number 3 for the Scorpions.
Now it looks all but certain that the Scorpions are probably going to wrap this up. There's just over a minute left for the Vipers to try to stage some sort of revival, but I don't know if I exactly see it right now.
As we said at the start of this series, take it 1 goal, 1 game, 1 play at a time.
As soon as I'm talking about the future, I mean, that's the job for the players. Take it 1 goal at a time. Never mind what I'm saying here.
I want to just see the Vipers make a great breakaway play here for themselves and get this ball out of their territory. Potato just found goal number 4. Vipers, that's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for a goal. I'm just asking for a great give-and-go play, not taking too many touches, not going for an unnecessary challenge. We have 2 challenges back-to-back that result in Potato getting a great clear. Going to play it off the back wall. Toke, though, great save. Enzo to push it all the way to the side. That is some fantastic defense there from the Vipers.
30 seconds left. So pushes it way over the halfway mark. Goes Potato. Toke actually is going to leave it right in front of the goal there. Maybe a possibility for Enzo to waterfall it down, but Gababy is waiting right there. And how good Gababy is about getting around the field, that's not a goalie you want to go up against.
Enzo will elevate. Potato respawns with their own elevation. Toke goes for the challenge against Gababy. Ball hits the ground. There's no time left on the clock. And with that, Scorpions walk away with the second game victory and a 4-0 sweep for themselves.
There you go. Scorpions have a lot to be proud of right now. They are just playing well, and they just have one more win to go, and they will have closed this out, still remaining kind of the undisputed team. And I was talking, about the Lynx, talking about them having the undefeated game, not only in terms of matches, but not dropping a game. Even going up against the Lynx, the Scorpions, who are the ones who actually haven't dropped a game so far.
They play some pretty clean
They play for keeps.
Rocket League.
And I'm just glad that we can see a match like that in this beautiful, non-walkable, car-centric infrastructure right now that is this stage. So here we go, final match.
Ball is in Viper territory. They're looking for a great clear. Toke sends it to the side, but there's not a lot of momentum. Gababy sends it to Nano. Nano goes for the flick. Double commit between Enzo and Zydra, but it does result in the save. Enzo trying to push forward with it. Will throw Potato off the possession. Potato cannot regain control of their vehicle. Zydra takes the shot. It's going to hit the back wall. Gababy slows it down, so the reset and rebound shot is not possible. But the ball is still here in Scorpion territory. Nano finally finding the clear. It's going to hit the backboard. Nano goes for the secondary touch of their own, but it goes right back to the mid because there was just so much momentum on that ball.
50-50 there. Doesn't really go in either player's favor, so Enzo is going to pick up the pieces and drive it back. That's exactly what I want to see. No, just not quite getting the goal there. I like the initiative, though.
Potato tries to crowd around. Toge gets their tire on them. It takes them out, but the ball is back in Viper territory. Enzo is going to try and corral it here in the corner. They have a couple seconds to give for themselves, but Nano instantaneously puts pressure on them. But all 3 members of the Scorpions are bunched up. Where are the Vipers?
The Vipers, they're definitely trying here. They just aren't able to kind of punish that. Now Nano is going to try to meet Enzo in mid-air, just runs out of what he needs right there, and is going to fall back to the ground. Still fighting in midfield, and a great shot there! Potato, why are you so... I think I'm done for today. All I wanted to do was see a competitive. And the Vipers, they're making good plays. I just feel for them right now.
I understand the position that they're in. It's like they're they're down bad in the bottom of the ninth and the bases aren't loaded. So you got to have like the Hail Mary hard hitter come in, but everyone is hesitant to do that. I mean, what can you do? If the bases are loaded and you do a pop fly, someone's going to get out. It might be the end of the game. Who knows? But you have to make those Hail Mary plays because there was an opportunity for Zydra to be there for the follow, but they just stayed at the mid to prevent the full clear from happening as opposed to going for the follow-up. Trust in your teammates to rotate back. You can take those risky plays. Just communicate with each other.
I appreciate the baseball reference, though, Nerdy. I mean, baseball references, ice hockey references is the most accessible esports has ever been to my father right now.
Well, I will keep that in mind going forward.
Nano is going to push it around the corner, but it's really the centering doesn't go through, so that gives the Vipers... they need the clear here, and Tokei's going to try to find it against Nano, and it looks like they at least drive it to midfield. Z-Hydra not quick enough, though, for Protato. Is going to be able to push it off to the corner, though, so was just trying to make a little bit of time for themselves. Nano to leave it. That does not have any speed whatsoever. That has speed, however, and it's almost going to go in. It's going to be another shot on goal credited towards the Scorpions.
Protato sends it right back towards the Vipers' goal. The Scorpions only have one goal. Vipers can find one for themselves right now. This is their opportunity to equalize it here from Tokei, but it's going to be thwarted by Protato. Zydra is in the corner trying to create disruption. Can't quite do it. Enzo goes for the secondary opportunity, but unfortunately loses possession mid-flight.
Tokei to push it to midfield. Protato now continuing the push. Baby keeping the side control alive there, even though he wasn't able to get the shot on goal there. Now they're going to have to play defense. I mean, still, it's still just a one-goal lead. I mean, it's still very much in the run for the Vipers to do that. Okay, that's what we wanted to see.
All right, now the bases are loaded. It's the bottom of the ninth. You've got 2 outs. Who's going to be able to do this? Is it going to be the Scorpions to find the final out that they need and walk away with this Game 3 victory and a 3-0 sweep, or the Vipers with the bases loaded gonna get the home run? Please.
We're gonna have to see, because it's in midfield, and so trying to play catch up with that soccer ball, not a situation you want to be in. Tokei is going to meet in midair the Scorpions. The ball is going to still be in the Scorpions. Oh, there it is. Oh, no, that's in front of the goal. Scorpions aren't going to follow up on that, though. So it still stays tied 1-1.
Enzo has the ball dunked down, but it's pinched off by 2 Scorpions. Zydra sends the ball to Tokei. Oh, Protato, though, snagging it mid-flight.
Baby to elevate up. Just pushed it to midfield. Enzo trying to make something happen again. And again, this is probably one of the things also is I'm just seeing the passes and the plays. Like sometimes I just don't know exactly what the Viper strategy is because the ball takes a weird angle or they shoot in a direction that I can't see a player they're aiming for. And, you know, just I want to see more purpose to some of these plays, but sometimes it just seems like they're just trying to play catch up. There's the home run in overtime you were looking for, but it goes toward the Scorpions, who win this 3-0, undefeated, and still the champions as far as I'm concerned.
And if you had just joined us, by no means are we biased towards the Scorpions in favor of the Vipers. The Scorpions have been doing phenomenal for the last week and into this week. We're definitely rooting for the Vipers there because they are our underdogs right now, and we just want to see every player have their moment to shine. Nonetheless, congratulations, Scorpions. You guys walk away with another victory for yourselves, and that will close out our night nonetheless with regards to Rocket League as a whole.
Well, if you want to be seen by expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights, and with our featured rumbles, recruiters are taking notice too. It's a great way to score your path to pro or land a collegiate scholarship. Almost a bit of a tongue twister. Path to pro.
Yeah, it can be. We got to do some vocal exercises now before we start broadcast. Well,
toy boat.
Oh gosh, that one always trips me up. We have one last prediction to make. ICCU player of the game.
I would have to say I either see it going to Gababy in terms of the Scorpions, but I have to say overall in terms of the better play, it was Wilds finding the redemption from the own goal to get a hat trick in the same round. If that doesn't deserve player of the game, I don't know what does. I have to put my vote in for Wilds.
Okay, so we got Wilds, we got Kababy, and then my third vote's actually going to go for Potato. They were kind of not as flashy, but they definitely were quite the playmaker. However, we're not the final decision makers. Those are our three options we're presenting. I am leaning into that Wilds choice as well, because I do feel like Wilds deserves it with that redemption arc. It was pretty. We'll have to see who ended up making the final cut here. It is not our decision. We just give suggestions.
It is
Wild!
Hey, there you go.
And with those fabulous sunglasses, my friend, the ICCU player of the game is brought to you by the Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Wilds is the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. You can see there, player of the Lynx, Rocket League, and college bound. Best of luck in your future endeavors if indeed you have graduated after the conclusion of your this last semester and are going on to college in the fall.
And great player all around, kind of started the trends of the Lynx wearing the sunglasses, showed up, and the team kind of rallied around him, all wearing sunglasses themselves. It was just, it's really fun to see them play in person. Really fun team, great to root for, and a great story overall by Wilds. Congratulations on getting the player of the game.
Well, before we close out the night, do you have any final big takeaways?
I have takeaway. The takeaway I'm going to say is that I'm great in predicting overtime results. I'm just not great at predicting anything else. So
all right.
There's your takeaway.
My takeaway is don't overcommit and don't undercommit on plays. That's definitely something we saw be the Achilles heel for most of the teams this evening, but they're going to have the time between the weekend and our games next week to clean things up and come back full force. Nonetheless, congratulations to all of our teams on an exciting Rocket League kickoff round 2 for the Summer Invitational. The Lynx made a huge statement tonight, being fast to start before the Scorpions held the top spot nonetheless in that fantastic 3-0 sweep. Make sure to join us here next week on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to see how our round 2 tournament of the Esports Tower Invitational finishes. We close out today with the top 5 plays of the game, presented to you today by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 jobs, offering $20,000 in bonuses and your degree of choice paid for. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuardGaming. I think Quest tries to center it up, and I believe Thrift will find the clear here.
Ooh, and that's not the tap that Greed wanted. Oh, look at that! What a shot! Wilds at the last moment to save it, and the follow-up ties it up! Baby keeping the side control alive there, even though he wasn't able to get the shot on goal there. Now they're going to have to play defense. I mean, still, it's still just a 1-goal lead. I mean, it's still very much in the run for the Vipers to do that. Okay, that's what we wanted to see. Find it. The Lynx maintain their side control. Barracudas are just going to take a little bit of time to refuel on boost and then make their play. Greed with a long hit way over to the corner, but it is not centered up in any way. And in fact, Thrift with the demo onto the open goal. What a deal right now. Maybe it's actually going to play it over to the other side of the field. Adrift is going to meet him there. Another get, finds it in the middle, and Nano just barely saving. I mean, the Scorpions are still in the match.
Oh!
Okay.
Unfortunately goes into the corner. Ball is on the backboard of the Lynx half the field. Toke tries to recenter it, can't though, because the drift gets it away from him. Enzo goes to the stop, manages to get it, pops it up, but Wilds pops it up again thereafter. Pinch play, ball barely is saved by Enzo.
That's insane there.